What's up YouTube, it's Maistro, and in today's video, I'm going to be discussing if the Crumar Mojo Classic organ is the best Clonewheel organ in 2023. Let's get right into it. Alright guys, so I've had my fair experience with certain Clonewheel organs, specifically three, but I want to kind of talk on if the Crumar Mojo organ is the best organ or Clonewheel organ in 2023, specifically based on sound, build quality, price, and a few other key components as well. So what I want to do is go from the, I hate to say the worst or my least favorite Clonewheels to my favorite Clonewheels. And I'm also going to include one extra Clonewheel that I may not have, that I haven't used, but I have seen that I think can be in this list. First off, we're going to go with the Viscount Legend Live organ. This was one of the first organs that I bought because I wanted the North Sea 2D at the time, couldn't find it, and I wanted something that I could consider portable, yet has that great sound. And I watched a lot of Viscount Legend Live videos that sold me on it, but to my surprise, I ended up being disappointed with it. So the main reason why I was disappointed in the Viscount Legend Live organ was because the Leslie sim within itself was not sufficient to my liking, and to others who have used the Viscount Legend Live have expressed the same sentiments. The reason being is because with the Viscount Legend Live, it's kind of hard to get that warm, gritty sound that you can out of a Hammond B3 that you can get with other organs. It's kind of a little bit more shrill, and you really can't hear the horn and the rotor turning on in that organ. And I think the purpose for that is specifically because they also sell their own Leslie cabinet. So I think they do that maybe on purpose. They could and they could not. I don't want to misspeak, but I think they do that so they can kind of sell the Leslie cabinet that they also make. But other than that, the features on it were pretty cool. You still had your crosstalk, reverb. The cool thing that I did like about it though is that they had an actual Leslie switch built into the keyboard, into the organ. I thought that was pretty cool, and something that you really don't see a lot on a lot of Clonewheels. Another cool thing that I do like that the Crumar Mojo does not have, of course, is the audio in. So I can plug my phone up to my organ, listen to music while I'm playing, and actually practice along with it. With the Crumar Mojo organ, I have to actually plug in my laptop to it with my audio interface, and it's just a whole setup that I have to do that I don't like doing. But other than that, another key component to mention with the Viscount Legend Live was its massive size. I am 5'4" and about 150 pounds, and that organ is freakishly large. So with that organ, I'd have to actually pick it up with two hands, which I mean most organs you do, but with that one it felt like it was about 60-70 pounds. And I think it was supposedly the specs weighed at about 40 something pounds, but it felt 10 times heavier than that, and it was just a drag. Of course my setup is upstairs in the spare bedroom in my studio, so I have to actually carry it downstairs and back upstairs when I'm done with it. And that alone was a hassle because, again, another thing to mention is the Viscount gig bags are, to me, specifically made towards tall people. So at my height, it's very kind of hectic to lift it up and try to carry it around in that manner. But also, lastly, regarding price, the Viscount Legend Live runs you about $2,800 as well. Next up, we have the Hammond SKX Pro. I haven't personally used this organ, but I have done my research on it as far as watching other videos and seeing how many people actually use this organ. And to my surprise, not a lot of musicians actually play with this particular Clonewheel. I'm not sure as why. One key component could be due to price. And actually, let me backtrack a little bit regarding the Viscount. They also have a Viscount Legend Soul that I haven't used, but I've heard good things about it. It is supposedly be an updated, 10 times updated version than the Viscount Legend Live in regards to the Leslie simulation. And I've heard a couple things, but I think Viscount's playability is solely dependent on it being connected to a Leslie cabinet. Back to the SKX Pro by Hammond. The features on it has a lot of features on that organ. A couple cool features that I did like is that, if I'm not mistaken, I think they do have the breathe feature, which I actually had on my YC61. And that feature, you can actually emulate the breath noise of a Leslie, so it actually sounds like there's a Leslie in a room. Another cool thing is, of course, they allow you to choose different Leslie cabinets with just directly on the organ. One thing I don't like about the organ, though, is the drawbar placement. I don't like the drawbars placed off to the far left. I kind of like my drawbars sitting centered in the middle, so I know I can actually go through and play everything. With that one, you have to play and adjust your drawbars on the side. With it, it's also $4,000, so that's a thing. The size of it, I believe, is not that much bigger than the Crumar. It has a lot more features than the Crumar organ and a lot more features than the Viscount organ. You do get extra effects and extra voicings like EP strings, and so they're gearing that Clonewheel more towards like an all-in-one type thing. But me personally, I just like to have a straightforward organ without all those voices. Now Hammond also has an XK4 one manual. Now if you're listening and watching this video, please make that XK4 a dual manual organ. That would be, I believe, would sell 10 times more at a lower price, maybe about the same as the Crumar and others, about $2,400 to almost maybe $2,800. But make the XK4, that's a simple one manual organ, but make that a dual manual organ, and I believe that would sell more. And that would actually what I would get if they did have that. Moving forward, we have the Nord C2D, which is sadly discontinued. I believe they discontinued that back in 2020, maybe sooner. Not sure as why Nord discontinued the Nord C2D. That was one of the best organs I've ever had. I actually ended up trading my Viscount for that organ, and eventually had to sell it due to certain circumstances that happened, but it's all well. But that organ was one of the best. It had the best form factor to me. The drawbars at the top, buttons at the top. I did have my audio input that I liked as well. The rotary Leslie sim was perfect. You can hear the you hear the horn and the rotor turn within that, and it just had the best layout and function as well. Price range wise, I believe it originally sold for like retail $2,800, I believe. But now you will find people selling it anywhere between $3,500 up to maybe $5,000 and even more. And it's very hard to come by. So if you get one and you got the funds for it, definitely just go ahead and buy it, because you won't find another one. And I'm sure I will never find another C2D, which leads me to the big guy over here, the Crumar Mojo Classic dual manual organ. This organ to me is the best bang for your buck, ranging in at $2,400. I got this pre-owned for about $2,000. Things that I do like about this board is right out the box, it sounds amazing. Of course, you do have things you can tweak. You have a lot of things that you can tweak with this organ with using the Crumar's online editor. One thing that I do wish it did have was the audio input. As I mentioned before, with the Viscount and the Nord, I can plug in my phone and play music along with the organ. Crumar, if you're listening, if you can find a way to incorporate that into the Crumar Mojo Classic organ, or even if you make a newer model, please make it, if you make a new model Crumar Mojo Classic, please implement the audio input feature so we can actually play music into the organ and play along with it through our phones. The key bed on the Crumar Mojo Classic organ is really good. It's a little bit lighter than the Nord C2D and the Viscount. So the Crumar Mojo Classic organ is, as far as the key bed and its playability, is lighter than the Nord C2D, and the Nord C2D is lighter than the Viscount Legend Live. But the keys on it are fairly good. It's pretty much almost identical to an actual Hammond organ feel. Now, one issue that I did have with this organ out the box was that the black panel here where the buttons lay, that was a little bit too close to the keys. So two things keyed into that factor is that it was screwed in a little bit too tight, so I loosened that up. And at the bottom where I have the on stage stand, that's metal, and the bottom of the organ is metal. So what happens is all that pressure, I guess, because it's metal, and it's hit real is a little bit heavy. It pushes against the bottom of the board, and it kind of pushes the upper manual keys up, which push against here. So what I found to work, in addition to loosening up screws, is I have a blanket here laying against as a cushion between the two, and so now the keys are no longer clinky like they were previously. Another thing is the vibrato chorus knob. That is a little, I won't say it's loose like it's gonna come off, but I wish it was a little bit more like firm as far as turning, because if you press or end up pressing the rotary speed button, and if you knock against it just a little bit, it can kind of turn, and it will switch the vibrato chorus style that you're playing. But another thing that I do like about this organ is that it has almost the same, I won't say form factor, but the same size as the North C2D, and that's a plus for me because at my height at about 5'4", I can actually carry this with one hand if I need to, and I don't have to feel like I'm just chugging a truck with me like I did with the Viscount Legend Live. But the organ is one of the best organs in my opinion for the price. Again, ranging at $2,400, you can't beat that, and the build quality is very great. I've did my research on a lot of different organs to choose from. I think they also have a mag organs as well. But for 2023, for the price, build quality, and sound, you can't get no better than the Crumar Mojo Classic organ. As far as outside from the North C2D, that's obviously discontinued. This will be your best bang for your buck. So if you're looking for a new organ to go into playing organ, or you want to learn, or you just want to replace something that you already have, then I highly suggest you go and check out the Crumar Mojo Classic dual manual organ. I'll put a link in the description and a link in the comment section where you can get this organ. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, leave them in the comment section below, and I'll get to them as soon as I can. Thanks again for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.